Yes. So on the issue of security, Your Excellency, the last time I was in Ondo, just a few weeks ago, I heard quite a few of the members of your government. They practically were thumping their chests that Ondo State is one of the most secure place to be, because all the people that came to Ondo by air, by road and everything, they didn't need any security for them to be able to drive around the town. And even Kaide went into town, and I don't think you saw any problem as such. So if it is true that this state is very secured, I'd like to know the security vote of the state. How is it being used to secure the state? And while talking about that, I know that a gentleman called the Are Gani Adams, who is the head of OPC, had consistently said that there are challenges in some part of the Southwest. And I think he specifically, I can't remember, please don't quote me on this, but I think he specifically mentioned that there are bandits and cattle rearers who are deemed to be troublemakers that have situated themselves in some part of Ondo State, and that there is serious concern about that. I don't know whether this is a fact. You're the Chief Security Officer of the state. Would like you to help us understand, are there such things happening in Ondo State, especially when you look at what happened in Owo recently?
Thank you, Mr. Akintemi, for this question as regards to security. We read a lot of things in the social media. I do see them too. And let me first of all say that there is no country in the whole world where you have 100%, that is 100% secure in terms of absence of crime. So there is nowhere that is crime-free in the whole world. But the degree of response and what you do when such isolation cases happen is what you use in measuring, sometimes how safe that particular community or state or country is. Yes, even though it's been said or judged by all that Ondo State is one of the safest and peaceful states in Nigeria, it is true. But that doesn't mean we don't have isolated cases once in a while, which we deal with, Like you already mentioned, during the time of my late principal, sometimes in 2022, June the 5th or 6th, if I'm not mistaken, we have the terrorist attack at St. Francis Catholic Church. That doesn't mean Ondo State is not safe. That was just an isolated case that we dealt with at the time. And since then, such has never happened again. To have such, massive attack, that claimed life and injured a lot of people. And I also like to mention to you today that the perpetrators are being tried right now because we caught them. They were arrested and they are facing the law right now. They are being prosecuted by the DSS. We supply report our Amotekun and other security agencies that were part of that investigation. And so, yes, we do have such isolated cases once in a while. The cattle rearer and the farmers clash, yes. There's no part of the country that doesn't. We all eat meat. We eat, cow meat, cattle. They move them from one location to the other. And in the bid to feed them, moving them, even though we have grazing law, open grazing law rather. They still move their cows. They go. Sometimes they run to some farmer's farm, eat all the cassava and all that. Then we have a law that says you have to compensate the farmer. And that is being implemented. We arrest, Amotekun arrest cows, we take them in, and the owners will show up and they will pay compensation to the farmers. That is running. So We're doing that so that the farmers will not, take laws into their hands also by killing the cows. Now, when you kill a Fulani cow, they will come back to, retaliate because they value their cows as if they are human. So, to avoid such, and they also have been cooperating, that once they violate the law and allow their cattle to eat, to go into somebody's farm, they pay compensation to the farm owner. So we are managing all of that. Yes, like I said, there are isolated cases. Just of recent, had to show. Some gun runner went in there, unknown gunmen, during a night vigil, took hostage of about 5 people, which have now been released. The security agencies have to move in and all that. So we have such isolated cases once in a while. Then kidnap for ransom is a bit rampant at the time, but we have dealt with that. That has reduced considerably. Where some people within inside will just kidnap somebody and they will be calling for ransom. That's also, it's not like bandits per se. That doesn't mean that there are no bandits that are trying to make incursion into the state. We always resist them. We've arrested several of them, load on truck, and then we profile them, we ask them to go back. So all of these have been happening. But at the back of the forest, if they are there, well, let them remain there. But they will not allow them to come into our state to create problems for us. So that is there because they are moving from different locations, especially with the current posture of the leadership at the federal level, the president and the security agencies at the federal level, with the new ways, the new approach to insecurity.
Okay.
So
certainly new approach,
yes,
Governor,
yeah.
but we'll have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll still stay a little bit more on the issue of security before we move on to economy, tourism, infrastructure.